William Gresley, the 16th of March 1801 to 19 November 1876, was an English divine. Early life. Gresley was born in Kenilworth, Warwickshire, on the 16th of March 1801. He was the eldest son of Richard Gresley of Stowe House, Lichfield, Staffordshire. He was a descendant of the Gresleys of Drakelow Park, Burton-on-Trent, and a bencher of the Middle Temple. By his first wife, Caroline, youngest daughter of Andrew Grote, banker, of London. George Grote was his first cousin on his mother's side. Education. He was a King's Scholar of Westminster School, and matriculated at Oxford as a student of Christ Church on 21 May 1819. In 1822 he took a second class in classics, and graduated B.A. on 8 February 1823, M.A. on 25 May 1825. Career. An injury to his eyesight prevented his studying for the bar, and he took holy orders in 1825. He was curate for a short time, in 1828, at Drayton Bassett, near Tamworth, and from 1830 to 1837 was curate of St. Chad's, Lichfield. During part of the time he was also morning lecturer at St. Mary's, Lichfield. An earnest high churchman, he threw himself into the Tractarian movement of 1833, and tried to popularize its teaching. In November 1840 Gresley became a prebendary in Lichfield Cathedral, an honorary preferment. About 1850 Gresley moved to Brighton, and acted as a volunteer assistant priest in the Church of St. Paul. He preached every Sunday evening. In 1857 he accepted the perpetual curacy of All Saints, Point Hill, near Maidenhead, Berkshire, where a church, parsonage house, and schools were in course of erection at the expense of 3 ladies living in the Oxford diocese. He settled there before either church or house was ready, and worked there with great success. His schools obtained a high reputation. Gresley died at Boyne Hill on 19 November 1876, and was buried in the churchyard. In 1828 he married Anne Wright, daughter and heiress of John Barker Scott, banker, of Lichfield, and had by her 9 children, all of whom he survived. Works. In 1835 Gresley published Ecclesiastes Anglicanus, being a treatise on the art of preaching as adapted to a Church of England congregation, and in 1838 his Portrait of an English Churchman, which ran through many editions. In 1839 he began with Edward Churton a series of religious and social tales under the general title of The Englishman's Library. 31 vols. London, 1840-3946. Of these tales he wrote 6. Clement Walton, or The English Citizen, Volume I. The Siege of Lichfield, a tale illustrative of the Great Rebellion, Volume XIII. Charles Lever, or The Man of the 19th Century, Volume XV. The Forest of Arden, a tale illustrative of the English Reformation, Volume XIX. Church Clavering, or The Schoolmaster, Volume XXIV, in which he developed his views on education. Coniston Hall, or The Jacobites, Volume XXXI, to describe the influence on his own mind of the Oxford movement, and to illustrate the danger of dissent. He wrote Bernard Leslie, or A Tale of the Last 10 Years, London, 1842, 1859. To the Juvenile Englishman's Library, 21 vols. 1845-4449. Edited successively by his friends Francis Edward Paget and John Fuller Russell. He contributed Henry de Clermont, or The Royalists of La Vendée, A Tale of the French Revolution, Volume E, and Colton Green, A Tale of the Black Country, Volume XV. His Ordinance of Confession, published in 1851, caused considerable stir, although he did not wish to make confession compulsory. Later in life, Gresley, with a view to checking the spread of skepticism, published Sophron and Neologus, or Common Sense Philosophy. In 1861, Thoughts on the Bible. In 1871, Priests and Philosophers. In 1873, and Thoughts on Religion and Philosophy. In 1875, from the last two of these works, selections, under the title of The Skepticism of the 19th Century, were published, with a short account of the author, and portrait, by a former curate, S.C. Austin. In 1879, his other writings include Sermons on Some of the Social and Political Duties of a Christian. London, 1836. The Necessity of Zeal and Moderation in the Present Circumstances of the Church, enforced and illustrated in 5 sermons preached before the University of Oxford. London, 1839. Some Thoughts on the Means of Working Out the Scheme of Diocesan Education. London, 1839. Remarks on the Necessity of Attempting a Restoration of the National Church. London, 1841. Parochial Sermons. London, 1842. The Spiritual Condition of the Young. Thoughts suggested by the Confirmation Service. London, 1843. St. Stephen. Death for Truth. As No. X. of Tracts for Englishmen. 1844. Anglo-Catholicism. A Short Treatise on the Theory of the English Church. London, 1844. Frank's First Trip to the Continent. Burns's Fireside Library. London, 1845. Suggestions on the new statute to be proposed in the University of Oxford. London, 1845. A Short Treatise on the English Church. London, 1845. Evangelical Truth and Apostolical Order. A Dialogue. London, 1846. The Real Danger of the Church of England. 8th Vo. London, 1846. 6th edit. 1847. A Second Statement of the Real Danger of the Church of England, containing answers to certain objections by F. Close and others, which have been made against his former statement. London, 1846. A Third Statement of the Real Danger of the Church of England, setting forth the distinction between Romanists and Anglicans, and the identity of evangelicals and Puritans. London, 1847. Practical Sermons. London, 1848. The Use of Confirmation. No. She. Of the London Parochial Tracts. 1848. And c. A Word of Remonstrance with the Evangelicals. Addressed to the Rev. Francis Wilson, in reply to his pamphlet called No Peace with Tractarianism. 8th Vo. London, 1850. 3rd edit. 1851. A Help to Prayer. In 6 tracts. Oxford and London, 1850. Stand Fast and Hope. A Letter on the Decision of the Privy Council in the Gorham Case. London, 1850. Distinctive Tenets of the Church of England. 4th edit. London, 1851. A Second Word of Remonstrance with the Evangelicals. London, 1851. A Letter to the Dean of Bristol, G. Eliot, on what he considers the fundamental error of Tractarianism. London, 1851. A Letter on Confession and Absolution, in reply to a letter and speeches of the Rev. R. J. McGee. London, 1852. The Present State of the Controversy with Rome. 3 Sermons. London, 1855. Answer to a letter of the Rev. E. B. Eliot addressed to the Rev. W. Gresley on the delusion of the Tractarian clergy as to the validity of their ministerial orders. London, 1856. Position of the Church and the duty of her members in regard to the Denison case. London, 1856. Sermons preached at Brighton. London, 1858. Boyne Hill Tracts. By W. G. London, 1858. Idealism Considered. Chiefly with reference to a volume of essays and reviews lately published. London, 1860. The Prayer Book as It Is. London, 1865. This article incorporates text from a publication now in the public domain. Goodwin, Gordon, 1890. Gresley, William. In Stephen. Leslie. Lee. Sydney. Dictionary of National Biography. 23. London. Smith. Elder & Co. pp. 153 to 155.